Erichika chaku Kaonde waya President So tumulisupu Hey wami Yakufuira jena mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Yakufuira jena mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Mami wandi Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Hey wami wa mutima Kukulesa wala na wanshikisha ngahale Hey wami wa mutima Kukuleta walala wanshikisha ngale Nenda kumona minasanga Mumanongo ningwe kushamananga Hey wami Wasala ngale Ilanga kumutimu nambaga kola Nambaga kuleta shuti kumutima Kwa kenu gile Ilafu yekala hate Hey wami Yakufuira jena mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Yakufuira jena mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Mami wandi Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Dimafuna kukama zonse Saku mutima Tikakumana Njebabusha ni wewe mwanafumu Nabadosa tikakumana Nikangi wakamba Iredosa ndana kumona mutima wakati lero kangande Manifesto Imasola mukama Ndeshana kuipompa Ina ilivea masocha That's right Nomanga takumana Maulesi Hey wami Yakufuira jena mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Yakufuira jena mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Mami wandi Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Yakabo Creator Yalo ate Create for good Create for good
Ati four corner
Hey mwana kushimuna walalo Hey mwana nikulezi kwa Joso kauta Nona kafa kutie Happy nyalo Hey wami Nalisunga mashuine mu mutima wandi Ine mandi Ndafira kukwela Yakufuira jena mutima wandi Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Mwanta Given Msesa Anton Samuhan Dr. Robert Sakulanda Commander John LOT Benzika Sepa The Promise Kabamba Pija Maskid Yokifinga Daya Daya Mutima wami Hey wami Osaja rubandi Amina kama nyanga kukuleta Mami wandi
Hello, hello, good evening, Chuempala. Elias Munshya here, and I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. This is TVBAKWETU, and so I'm very excited that you could join me today. But I would like you to share the link with as many people as possible, and let's have this discussion here today. In addition to that, please like us and send us stars and subscribe to the Elias Munshya pages. TVBAKWETU is completely voluntary at the moment, and so it depends on you. We want to establish a very long-term relationship with you, and so please do so. Of course, most of our people, we had the highest viewers during campaigns. We are no longer campaigning. And so everybody now has gone off doing their own things and they've abandoned us, you see? Ero valia kumatanta, valefo valia, eko vaya, kumatanta, nomba ifwe tatua kwa tamatanta. So we have to keep the show going. Nevertheless, thank you very much for joining us here today. We have a lot that we've got to deal with, and so I have several of my TVBAKWETU crew that are going to join in, and we have a huge discussion lined up for you. The song that I was playing is by Dengi Kachaku. Now, Dengi Kachaku, I only mentioned him the last time, but apparently because it's a collaboration with Mr. Dreams, Kaondewaia, we need to acknowledge that as well. So it's a collaboration between Denji Kachaku and Mr. Dreams, Mr. Music, Dreams, Mr. Music, Bashinanikane. So it's a collaboration. And they are calling it Northwestern Music. And this particular song takes the beat of the beat that is mostly found among Luvale Lunda musicians. That's the beat, right? Very different from the Kaonde Manchancha Masasu music, if you can tell. And so it is a very good music. And so we encourage you to like the Denji's page. His page is Denji Kachaku. Just now, the way he writes it on his name, it's like deny, Denygeee, and then Kachaku. That is his page. So please like it. He's got very good music. Now, I think there is a dance challenge, some sort of dances that is ongoing. And so you are also going to see a lot of tradition. A lot of traditional dancing, okay? But on whether it's actually traditional dancing, you can't tell because, and you know, because all these dances now, they are no longer hidden. It's now open. So it looks like we've advanced in that way as a culture, where that music, where those dances now are open and everybody can do it. And so that is what is happening. So thank you very much for joining me here. A while earlier, you had my friend Frank Saliki, who came live to you. And every Thursday, we do have Frank who gives us his motivational talks. Okay, we have a lot to get to. And so we have a lot to get to. And so let us see how far we are going. We are going to get. Christabel Palata says that Denji is actually a teacher. Very interesting. Is he a music teacher? What does he teach? But anyway, this is the resurgence of traditional music, and I'm very traditional. I like traditional music, and we like playing traditional music here. Number one, we have no problems with traditional music as far as copyrights are concerned, you know. I think when we become a fully fledged television station, we can get away with it. But now that we have to depend on Facebook and YouTube, they always pick at us with the music that we play. So this is now a chance for us to concentrate on traditional music, and so Denji Kachaku's music is pretty good, particularly the Wami one. Before the end of the program, I'm going to try and read some of the lyrics in Lunda. Okay, not the Bemba one, but the one in Lunda. We'll see how that goes. But let us continue encouraging the development of traditional music and traditional dancing. Bambinava for what these dances are supposed to be private. Nafichinja ka denji kachaku nafichinja nomba. Therefore, all those dances to be public. At culture has evolved. So nomba fionse fifi mwale fisa fisoku fisa masha. No, it has got to be open. Anyway, I have with me here my TVBAKWETU friends. That's Jerome Kanika and Patrick Chilufya. We have a lot to talk about today, and so I want us to go straight to the point. Okay, so the last time that we had a discussion with Jerome, you say, oh, first of all, posheni kwa abantu mwe.
Thank you, Munshya. Today my phone is just doing its own whatever things, but at least anyway, I'm here. I'm on the screen. Yeah, good evening, the people of Chuempara. Good evening, the people of Chipata. Good evening, the people of Zambia. Good people of Mirenge and other places. I hope you are all enjoying the TVBAKWETU.
Right, thank you. Bachelor.
Thank you, Dr. Munshya. Good evening, Jerome Mlemuleka Wansansa. Kufile kwali ku Zambia, kufile kwali Black Friday last Friday. Oh, ni tomorrow. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm coming to Lusaka in June. Hope for 2 weeks. Hope one of those 2 weeks will be a Black Friday.
Don't worry,
Nalami sosera kuli bana nkole.
Okay.
Because the other day mwali nchitaki bana nkole. Nalami
yes.
sosera.
And then
bakanika na nalami sosera kuli bana.
And then Bakanika, I can see you going places. Mwalina ba Honorable Minister of Health. The whole of the minister with you, Bakanika. Is this how powerful you've become?
Patrick, ni TVBAKWETU.
Yeah. Anyway, good to see you, Jerome. Good morning, our viewers all over the world. Welcome to TVBAKWETU. Don't forget those stars, and I hope those stars and those who want to subscribe to TVBAKWETU, it's only $4 a month. Only. Yeah. Over to you, Munshya.
So let's go right to business. Now, when this matter of the Ministry of Health came, Jerome, you have been highlighting a lot of corruption in the Ministry of Health, a lot of confusion at ZAMSA, issues with the board appointments and stuff like that. Okay. Then we came to the issue of who takes the blame for everything that is going on. Jerome, you were reluctant to blame the minister, right? You say that the minister is in the right trajectory and stuff like that. On the other hand, me and I think Bachelor, what we were saying was, if there is anything wrong happening in the Ministry of Health, the politician who is the Minister of Health should rise up and solve that problem. We can't continue blaming bureaucrats. We say that political ministers are responsible for what is happening in their ministries, and they are accountable to us as the people of Zambia about what is going on. So we can't say that whatever was happening at ZAMSA was because of ZAMSA management. It was because of the ZAMSA board. What we said was, no, the minister needed to take charge. Where are we right now? We've seen that there's been several things that have been done. The minister has taken charge, and the president was working from what is that called? Ndeke House today. Jerome.
Yeah, I think, Munshya, just like I've said, I've been very much, reluctant to clearly point out to the minister to say she's the one who who should take charge of some of the wrongs that have been happening. I think that one, I think I've been so much on firm ground. The reason is very simple. I've found with the minister, I've seen how she has been giving instruction for people to do what they are supposed to do, and how she has been get involved in terms of seeing the things happen in the way they are supposed to be done. But what I can mention here is the issue of slowness from some of our staffs in communicating to the members of the public. One thing that I can tell you is like right now, there is a lot of deliberate, I can say, means of health have a deliberate policy on reporting any positive the minister she's doing, but any negative thing, they'll also keep
Yes,
deliberately quiet, not
but what?
even.
No. That we need to be quite. The thing is, if inefficiencies are happening in a ministry, the one who is politically accountable to us is the minister. We need to be very clear about that. And so, to an extent, that what you are saying helped the minister to go into her system and correct the situation, we are extremely grateful for it. But you can't say that it's the ministry bureaucrats. No, not anymore. We are not going to accept that.
No,
Because the
Munshya.
ministry bureaucrats are supposed to do what the people that we've elected, in this case, and appointed to be Minister of Health, our political representative, she's supposed to go there, take charge, and run that ministry. If she's doing it, and like we have seen today, that is pretty good.
Yeah, but Munshya, I think one thing that we need to understand very well is, yes, the minister, she's accountable to whatever which happens in the Ministry of Health. But
Right.
moreover, she has also our juniors whom are supposed to do things or be told the way things are supposed to be done. If the
Right.
juniors are not doing things according to what the minister she's saying, we
Right.
may start blaming a very innocent person, a person who's trying by all means and
No,
trying to
but look,
work.
is it blaming? What is it? Is it blaming? What is it?
No, Bamunsha, we're not blaming at all. Actually, we balanced. You know, the last 3-4 days, we haven't just been talking about the problems at Ministry of Health. We've
Right.
also been offering solutions. But one thing I've agreed with you, Bamunsha, and many other people, even the viewers there. The sentiment is the buck stops at Madam Masebo, Honorable
Right.
Masebo, because
Right.
she is the Minister of Health. Just like I work in an organization, unlike the government organization, the chief executive, whether tabombe nchito ekala pamulupalya, the buck stops at him. The kuli problem ya organization. And what has happened today is the leadership we've been waiting for. This because Jerome Ngakuriama problems. There are people sabotaging the government. It doesn't matter who is doing it. The buck stops at Ramasevo. And
Right.
what has happened today? If people have been fired, suspended, things have been put in place. That's the leadership we were waiting for from
Right.
Madam Masebo. Over to you, Bamush.
Yes. But Jerome, more for a little nuance, eh?
Bamunsha, how? I think let's understand this thing this way. Yes, as much as Honorable Masebo, she's a political leader in that ministry, and she's the one who's in control. You should know that there are people whom, as much as she can say or do whatever, but she cannot just chase them out of their ministry, because there is a public service commission that need to come in and they need to follow things and procedures the way are supposed to be done. If the people who are supposed to know very well, as much as she's a political figure, the people who are controlling officers there are permanent secretaries. So this brings issues with in terms of how people are supposed to be done. If the permanent secretaries are not proactive in doing the way the minister.
We are having a fundamental misunderstanding of political leadership. The Zambian government is a political government. The Zambian system is a political system. Political system means that the people of Zambia elect a government, a political government, who should preside over the affairs of the country. The bureaucracy serves the political leadership. And so we just need to create that in our minds, because if we don't, the politicians that we elect might be passing the buck over to say that it's because of the inefficiency of the bureaucrats.
Yeah,
so what we encourage is to encourage our politicians to take charge. That's very important.
Munshya, I think one thing that we need to understand very well, in as much as I'm agreeing with some of the sentiments you are saying, but we need to do and agree with me that even if the minister today notices that there are some sabotaging to our junior officers, maybe at the permanent secretary level or at the director level, the minister have no single-handed power to remove that person right there and then, but they need to follow the procedures accordingly. So
okay. Now there is no argument about that. There is due process that must be done, but that due process must be initiated by the political pressure that we apply on the minister's citizens. The reason is this: citizens in Zambia have no direct access to the bureaucracy. We don't. Like, I don't have a direct access to the director at Ministry of Health. No, I have no direct access to a permanent secretary. The only link between the people of Zambia and the bureaucracy are the political representatives. And so they must feel the political heat from the citizens. And then they go and apply that political heat on their respective portfolios. And this is exactly what has been done. If the stories of suspensions are correct, then it means then that our political pressure on the political representatives in our republic are now beginning to be responsive to the political needs of our people.
Yeah, you see.
In fact, are these suspensions legit? Have they been confirmed?
I cannot myself.
Nobody can confirm, Munshya, but yeah, but some newspapers are reporting on them, so we don't know. We don't know.
The bureaucracy is very difficult to change. That's why even from initially what we were suggesting right from the beginning, if you remember very well, TVBAKWETU, we were asking government, we were asking the president, we were asking the UPND New Dawn to move quickly, because the bureaucracy is always anywhere around the world. It's always difficult to change. That's why you need political responsiveness, because that is what drives the bureaucracy. Now, if the politicians also are saying they can't move the bureaucracy, that becomes a little bit of a problem. Or they say that they don't have the legal framework in which to change the bureaucracy. That becomes a huge problem.
Yeah, Munshya, I think first of all, for me, in terms of those suspensions, I cannot yet confirm because I have not yet seen that. But
Munshya, somebody has confirmed that they are legit.
Yeah, and to be very clear, that is how responsive the public service needs to be to the political needs of the people in Zambia. The bureaucracy has its own rigidity. It's a rigid system, and it takes long to make it responsive to the political needs of the people. That is just reality. And so what we have seen happen in the Ministry of Health today is the bureaucracy and the political leaders responding to the cries and desires of the people. That is as it should be. We know that they have security of office on tenure, civil servants. They too are civil servant. Charlie Shupo civil servant. It's not easy. And so we realize that. And so, but there are several tools that are at the disposal of our ministers. Discipline is one of them. Demotion or moving people. Baba Fumio Minister of Health. Baba, okay. But they create a ministry.
Without portfolio.
Minister of Portfolio.
Without portfolio.
Directors that don't want to respond to the political needs of our people. Ministry
Sabotage in the good work of the government.
Minister of Special Duties.
Special duties, yes.
Because you can't really fire them, but in government you can move them. So toe the line and be efficient in their thing. Mubatwale ku Ministry of Special Duties. Mupange ka Ministry of Special Duties.
But then Munshya, let me just cut you.
Innocent. Mupange a separate ministry. All the non-responsive directors, because if you can't fire them, and indeed the president can't fire civil servants that easily, Ministry of Special Duties, or you can find a different name, but
Munshya, sorry about that. They can be sent home, Ministry of Home, and then Munshya again. If what we've been hearing, that there have been scandals, a director in Ministry of Health employing people dubiously against the will of, against the permission or against the government, then that's corruption. Then that person should be fired. If there's evidence or suspended. Pending investigation.
Yeah. So what we've seen, Minister of Health today is very encouraging. The president paid personal attention to it. We commend the president. We commend the team of the president for paying personal attention to the Ministry of Health. And we believe that the minister is on the right trajectory, except that the only point where we are differing with Jerome is when he says that we can blame others. What we are saying is no, the backstops at the minister, and so the minister should take responsibility, political responsibility, and apply political pressure. Apply political pressure on the
I think, Munshya, we need to agree on one thing here. In as much as we are trying to say, we might say the blame should come from the minister. I think also we need to ask ourselves to say, okay, the minister also, they are also appointees and all that. But the thing which we need to be so very much say, there are a lot of other scandals at the Ministry of Health that have happened. There are a lot of illegal payments that have been initiated at the Ministry of Health without the knowledge of the minister. You see, one thing that I can assure you is I know all the people who have supplied anything in the Ministry of Health as long as it's called pharmaceuticals. And I know how legit that thing they supplied is. You see, there are some dubious payments of about $4 million US, which were paid to a company that is a contempt kind of without.
Jerome, we get that point. I want you to know, Jerome, that we get that point. We get that point that they are corrupt. The only issue that we are saying is the link between the people and those corrupt bureaucrats is the minister. That's it.
I think the best thing that we need to do, what is happening at the Ministry of Health, it's not like, and some talks with some other people coming out strong on the minister, and not the genuine talks. Some people are paid and all that to discredit the minister, because some of the people want to be given the contracts the minister she has cancelled. Some of the people
No, no.
have lived. Yes, Vamos.
No. The minister's actually taken charge. Have you seen that she has taken charge? That is what we wanted to see. The only thing that we don't want to see are the excuses. So the minister has taken charge, and we commend her for doing that. That is all we wanted to see.
Yeah,
What we
but
don't want
one
to see
thing,
is the excuse here, kweba tati, yo, it's the bureaucrats average. Okay, if I'm a bureaucrat, and that the people don't want, deal with them like they've been dealt with today. So, Mamonade, that's what we want to see.
yeah, she's dealing with people. She's dealing with people, but the issue which is a civil servant is not like you just wake up today as a politician, you go check them out. It is a process, kind of, and a lot
And she
of
has
other
started the
people.
process. And she has started the process. And so that is very
Yes.
commendable. Now, this brings the question of the wider issue of the civil service. How do our politicians then prevail over the civil service? If you give an excuse to the Ministry of Health, you're going to extend that excuse to everywhere, and Zambia will be ungovernable. We need to encourage our politicians. That's why, right from the very beginning, we've been very consistent, Jerome. Ukwebati, aba wina my elections, ever take a chalo. This is not just a cliche. Take one galokuyo. Aba wina, ever could take a chalo. Now, all the bureaucracy, akana ukusuminisha aba wina my elections ukuteka. Then they need to be sent to the ministry of Chilufe. It's as simple as that.
One thing I can assure you is more people will be sent, but just a matter of time. As you know very well, it's a way of doing things in a methodical way and systematic way, so that you don't be seen like victimizing some people, but you are doing things in a genuine way. And for sure, this is what she's doing.
That's understandable. What I want is an admission from you, whoever the backstops at the minister. Are we agreed on that point?
No, that I'll not admit there, because I know what happened. That that I
So
can
it stops
assure
where?
you.
It stops where?
For me, the issue stops on those people who are so-called technocrats who are making the work of the minister to be very difficult. Not the minister.
No. You can't govern a country like that, Jerome. You can't.
Vamusha, you can't govern a country again by blaming innocent people. No, she's innocent. Why should we blame her? Well, she's innocent.
No, we are not blaming her. We are encouraging her to take charge of the ministry and bring all the erring officers, technocrats in her ministry.
Yeah, but look, she's doing that. As you know very well,
that's why we are commending her. That's why we are commending her for doing it. Right? That's why we are commending her for doing it. But what you are saying is, yes, we can commend her for doing it, but at the same time, not say that she is responsible for what is going on. Ministers are responsible for everything that happens under their ministry. The Minister of Home Affairs is responsible for anything that is going on, even if it's a policeman today in Nakonde does something completely unrelated. It is the political Minister of Home Affairs who should account to the people of Zambia about the actions of that police officer in Nakonde. That is governance. Ekuteke chalo.
Bamusha, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Bamusha. The best example is Kulinkondo ku Ukraine. Who was responsible for repatriating our lovely boys and girls? The Minister of Foreign Affairs. Tefe Bamusha.
Mifefin.
Yes. So, Nomba ngatabachitile. Who would have been blamed? The Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Yeah.
So the back stops at the minister.
We need to set this very clearly. Otherwise, we yeah,
And
we're
then
going to run
Munshya, the point we are trying to drive home here is the buck stops at the minister. So the minister, even umutinga walwa hospital, because her job is to make sure that she employs somebody who can put controls to make sure to mutitawule luba. So mutinga baiba munani mu UTH, the minister can be blamed, because
right.
the minister needs to make sure that she's got all the necessary people, all the experts to protect her. Because if anything happens, they will say it's lack of leadership from the minister, because she's the overall boss. I rest my peace, Mamush.
Yeah. Jerome, I give you another chance.
You see, I've heard what Patrick has said, and there are issues of, let's say, the same which is being much talked about, the issues of shortages of drugs and the issues of recruitment. And today we have been told to say that the advert for recruitment will be out tomorrow.
Right.
And who has been controlling and seeing that the advert is according to what's supposed to do was the minister. She was, yes, all the time trying to check how is the advert being, how is the wedding and all that. And she has done such an excellent job. And tomorrow we are going to see a very good advert for everyone who will be employed in the Ministry of Health. Coming to the issues of even the shortages of drugs. Yes, the minister herself, she has not run away from this reality, but she has come to protect and defend them, the resources that the government has, and making sure that the Zambian people get the best benefit from the small resources that the ministry is given.
Yes.
Despite having this, you see, let's agree one thing here. If the Minister for Health wanted a corrupt tender to go ahead, she would have allowed so to do so, and the corrupt tender would have gone ahead. But what did she do? She stopped that and said, let's follow the law to the letter.
Yes.
And today we have seen what has come out, and for sure it has indicated that the citizen suppliers of drugs, for sure they were right in whatever they were saying. So it was, the minister who came to rescue the citizens. And besides that, she has done, yesterday she did a very tremendous job by announcing that the 30% of all the contracts, all the procurement
going to be examined. Now that's exactly what we are saying. The only thing we are disagreeing, and everything. No, just wait. You've had a lot of time. You've said exactly what we've been saying. In other words, what you are saying is that the minister has taken political responsibility. And that's what we are saying. That's all. The only thing where we are disagreeing on is shifting blame. So you've got to take political responsibility. But your other argument is we shift the blame onto the bureaucrats. What we are saying is no. Let the minister take that responsibility and continue on that trajectory. That's what we are saying.
Bamusha, can I say something? Jerome, can I say something before you come in? Jerome, you said a very important thing, and that shows leadership, that advert, before it goes out tomorrow, has been properly scrutinized by the Minister of Health, which is a tremendous job. Now, Jerome, you know, the same minister who scrutinized that advert needs to make sure that there is a stringent process and controls to make sure that balaba kelenka abatampiro kuingisha abantu even before Fuma cannot continue doing bulabu kelenka bwakale. You know, that's the responsibility of the minister. And if that happens, people will blame the minister that kwaliba corruption pakuingisha abantu. Over to you, Babu.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Munshya,
now we've got to move on.
Munshya, I think let me come in. I think as much as yes, Patrick, you have mentioned a very important point, but the good thing which I've liked about this Minister for Health is she's ever on the ground hearing what the people are saying. And she keeps also telling our people at the ministry to say, even if today you indicate to the people that this one has been volunteering whatever thing for years, whatever thing you bring in your relatives, the people are going to argue out to say, we have never been seen this working at this hospital or this clinic. And for her, she's getting those talks by members of the public so much serious. So
right,
she has shown enough leadership.
No. I think we agree, Jerome. There is no difference there. The only difference was when you were trying to deflate responsibility onto the bureaucrats. That one we said no. She's still responsible, and so we are encouraging her to continue doing the good work that she's doing. And if there are issues, for her to resolve all those issues under her ministry. And we've seen some actions done today, and we are very happy with that. Can we move on now?
Munshya, I agree with you with some of the things you're saying, but in terms of pushing the blame on the minister who's trying by all means to do the right thing, I think that's what I've not accepted. I think we cannot blame the minister who has been so open and transparent in doing things. I think for me, no. There, I'll stand with the minister for health, and for me, at least, she has shown enough leadership to the
when something goes wrong under the ministry, what happens?
Who is responsible?
Who's responsible?
When somebody goes wrong at their own ministry, yes, she is someone responsible, but
who's responsible for the board at ZAMSA?
She's the one who's responsible for the board.
Who's responsible for the board at ZAMRA?
She's the one who's responsible, yes, for the board at ZAMRA, who need to appoint the people and all that, but yet we don't have, yes, the board. But, for example, she appoints the people, she appoints the board, but she's not the one who directed the board to go moving from one USL to another, no.
Yeah, we will stay here for a very long time. We've got to move on. Can we move on?
But Munshya, let me just say one thing. Jerome, we call them leaders, leadership. So what leadership means is, Honorable Masebo needs to have the best people in the Ministry of Health, needs to have the best people at ZAMLA, needs to have the best people at ZAMSA, so that nothing wrong happens everywhere. If something wrong happens, the buck stops at her. Thank you, Munshya.
I get the point. But one thing that you need to know very well is when the minister, she's appointing people, she appoints the best of the people she knows according to the capability. She understands that this person can do this. She appoints to say, Patrick, you appointed to this. Then, Patrick, you go at that position, you start doing your own things. You see, in as much as we may start to blame the minister, first we need to say the facts to say, no, the problem is Patrick.
That's not how political leadership anywhere works, Jerome. That's not how. Excuse me, Jerome. That's not how it works. If you begin saying that, then politicians are going to shed off responsibility to bureaucrats. That is not. The reason why you have people elected into office, no, what you are saying is they appoint a board, And then a minister says, no. If a board, if an administrative board in a government, an administrative tribunal, or any administrative body is not performing, it's the minister who is politically responsible for the fallout. There is no direct link between a citizen and ZAMSA. You realize that. There's no direct link. You can't walk into ZAMSA and begin questioning the board as a citizen, but you can walk into Ndeke House and speak to the minister. But what you are saying is because Vadison Takare, it means then that we have got to go and hold the board accountable to us. The board, administrative bodies in a democracy are accountable to the people through the political channel. If ZAMSA board is not performing, it is the minister who needs to set it straight. If the minister does not set it straight, she can't back it and say that the people can now go straight to the boards and to the administrative bodies. There will be chaos in the country if we performed like that. You know? That is what it means. Because tatuya mukuvota ama boards, mwamanete, tuvotera kateka nama MPs. Elo nomba kateka asala mang MPs abakuteka nankwe. Elo abapero utupoto. Elo nomba babo mfyo utupoto katuishobo bachita consult, obviously bachita consult kateka. Ato nomba na lasala for this board, for this administrative body, na lasalo, you know, ibasala. Elo nomba fya pena kubo basala. Elo tuwala ndati tuwala mukusonta eminwe balabe nabo abo asonte le minister. So their inefficiency is a reflection of the inefficiencies of the minister, and the minister should put their foot down, make sure that they appoint good boards, and if they don't appoint good boards, we as the people of Zambia can have resort to can have resort to to the minister. Now, ultimately, the backstops are the president, but we are not yet there yet. We are not there yet, right? Because the president does not supervise every administrative body directly. The president supervises administrative bodies through their ministers. So before we go to the president, we are going to deal with these political ministers first. Once we are satisfied, okay, these are messing up, then we go to the president and say that we're asking the president to remove the minister. We're asking the president to change the minister. We're asking the president to whatever it is. But in the meantime, we are asking the ministers, but they assume their authority because kuliko na kamwenso or whatever it is. Imwe you are ministers, for goodness sake. Ama boards ayo musonta yamiteke mfine. You have authority from the president and from the people of Zambia. Ngamwasala board, elo board yambo kuliseti. Just change it. Amazeto, a board yamazeto. Just change it. That's it. If we don't want excuses as citizens to instruments of power, that is the whole point. Ngadamlefwa yokuteka. Shide niko abalefwa. Abalefwa yokuba Minister of Health Tebengi, nangu Minister of Small Scale Enterprises, nangu Minister of Sport, nangu Minister of Information. 158 members of parliament. So nomba pefya kwa batama ministers bali teka mwenso. Kula teka kona kalimo katwishi. No, bane. You are ministers. Teke ni chalo. Aba wina my elections. Eba teke chalo. Not we are still saying at you, it's PF people in directors, shane. Mubachite transfer to different things. Mbatume na kumushku inamwe batumako. Mbatume kuchipata, kupeta okay.
Yeah, but Munshya, can I say something before we move on? Today, also, Munshya, I commend HH. It took leadership. Because, you remember, Munshya, we were saying, if nothing happens with Masebo, the back finally stops at HH. And he took a step today before the back stops at him. That's but Jerome, that's leadership.
Yeah.
Nayamukutandalira bana Masebo before the back stops at me.
At Yakava.
Yakava. That's leadership. But President Malikwata foresight. Before the back stops at me, and that's what happened with Jerome.
But Monafiat apa akakala dakalaisa ku State House. So before takalaisa, let me do. And I think we commend the president for being responsive and the minister. Let them continue doing the right trajectory, and we love them. This, if we as TVBAKWETU, we are UPND. It's not a secret. Is it Wishetwadifisa? Ububuteko bwesu nifwe ububuteko bwesu tatu afisa hiyo limbi mwalifisa bachirufe mwalifisa
awe ba Munshya day and night twali trenches tulelwa bakutubike tufunyepo balaba kerenka
elo nombalelo tukana
tebesu elo besu and we'll support them wherever there are problems. We offer solutions.
Yeah,
we'll criticize, but in a very constructive manner, and offer solutions.
Yeah.
Therefore, we will take Obubombe because we know this is the only government that can move Zambia forward.
Go take over. It's just that to require mwenso. I'm a ministers mwenso. Imamwema ministers umwenso muleke. Okufumarero, we are warning bonse. Nkajauta kuli minister nanguwa paraminako kuli wa minister uleo umfoa from us tonight tuamiewa umwenso ukumemengera muleteka mule memengera itatulefwa efyo yo from today.
Munshya, we cannot afford, like what I was explaining yesterday. I've got a relative who is in the hospital takuli essential drugs for a premature baby. So, because Zamsa Kuriama problems, there is no way. This is an emergency. This is a crisis. There is no way we would say, because there's a crisis, Kuzamsa, the back stops at Malamasebo. Why is there no medication in all the hospitals? Something can be done.
So that tulefo kumfona kairi uko katika achia ku ministry shani.
Ministry hawe.
Mulemu posereshta wakateka inonshita ngabalesa ontama ama ambassadors ama high commissioners shan dealing with
kundeke house
umlandu wa problem iliko ku ministry no imwe tulefo kumfuata kateka na ya ku ministry shani again no umlandu wa problems we want him working from State House. And realizing that Kuriyama ministers, they are working, they're doing their jobs. And you as our ministers, you have our backing. You have our complete backing. We are going to back you. We love you, and please keep up the good work. You have our backing as citizens. We need to reassure the mama ministers. And if the opposition come after you, to come and distract you and things like that, we are going to defend you. That's our job. But please do the right job. I think we've got to bring in another TVBAKWETU person because it is Jerome, please, instako defend. Vale mbepesha basi mwami atine am NDC. Jerome, am I NDC?
Munshya, the thing is, NDC and the UPND are in alliance. So,
but Jerome, the question is which one? Because there are so many NDC.
No,
Beatrice Sangana Komulomo. Monene, Beatrice Sangana Komulomo at Dr. Munshya, you not NDC.
Munshya, the NDC where Munshya is, we are in alliance. So we don't want to go further to say this and that NDC. We just know that the NDC Munshya is, we are in an alliance. so that we stop the issue of there is this NDC, there is this NDC. No, we are in serious alliance and we are working together.
Mwalandeterera imwe with the NDC president Savoy Mboera. Mwalandeterera.
No. Let's say faction president Savoy Mboera.
Nalireterera inain. But I'm NDC. Who said that I'm NDC? Pantu I can't remember anyway. Nkwisa, who said that I'm NDC?
I think Munshya at one time, something, you were so excited and you mentioned NDC so Marilava. But I do remember.
Yeah.
Valampokolola kuba bomkelabai. Bomkelabai, am I NDC?
Action speaks louder than words.
So more supporter?
No, the thing is, I know what you meant. You are not NDC. Actually, you are a staunch UPND supporter, in my opinion. Considering what you have been doing so far, we can tell that UPND is your party at heart, and this, what is that, Savoy's party was just you were just making an idiom to borrow. That was an idiom. It was your idiom party.
Anyway,
otherwise, you have done a good thing. Namlanda wino sana wa Jeremy natumfwa amalia shienu. I hear you, my brother. You are trying to bring this issue of Niravalanda Mulo at Tosha's liability at the vicarious liability to focus on the boss never institution. Who is in charge of an institution? So the technocrat apanga mistake. Nga ba boss never institution never department tabamwene tabala chita solve problem yo bwangu, and then there is public outcry. Then abantu, yes, they are right to point a finger at the owner of the ministry, the one in charge. Eventually, the person actually who is going to be the final person to blame will be the president. So otherwise, I think and that is why PF, they are taking now advantage of our position. They are now trying to take advantage and use this as they are now their weapon. They want to whip by Masevo and by HH. Now they are going straight to the head of state to say, Takuli Miti, and you are the one that was promising. They are now crying to say, Male to web.
Yeah. So we've got to urge our ministers to go to Bombeni.
She's doing her job diligently.
Yakuchitako fimbi alemi konkera. Ministers to apapata, awoke to apapata. Dr. Barbara Chanda.
Good evening, Munshya. Good evening, everybody. The Ministry of Health is very close to my heart because health is very important. Like what Jerome was saying, we have to be careful because the minute we say that back does not stop on the minister, we are actually undermining her because it means she's a puppet minister and there's somebody else in charge. It's simple as that. Just like football, every ministry, every government, every business works exactly like football. But Arsenal win a game, you will not go and blame the assistant, the manager. You come and find that the manager himself is sacked. Why? Because it's their responsibility to ensure that everything goes well. even in the Ministry of Health, the minister, it's her responsibilities. I won't even mention that PF Nabashara, they're no longer a factor right now, to be honest. They can just, exactly, very loser. So we can't be mentioning them. And then if we mention them, we just make them feel important, but they're not. Right now, the Ministry of Health, you know, small teams with targets. That team has another manager with targets until they get to the minister. That's how it is. Even in Zambia, everywhere on earth, that's how it is. So wherever the bottom, the team yabantu four, bali kwatama responsibility yabo. Kata bali bomba bwino, basta report kuli manager wako. Uya manager alikwata na operations manager wako. Now operations manager wako alikwata boss wako. Paka yafika pali ba minister. So the minute the operations manager has more power than the one above him, then we are undermining the person on top.
Yeah.
Something has gone wrong. So we are team manager Jakaisa and sending otuma employing people shani. Then Moisa and that Katina no Katina kwata shani. Something is wrong in that building.
Right. And
honestly.
And I think there is definitely something positive that has been done today, and we hope that thing will continue. But my ministers bane viringaneni pantu abarefu kuba minister bengi 158 members of parliament. So bane viringaneni. Don't even think that you can't be replaced. You ministers, in fact, ministers are the easiest to replace. So to apapata.
Mwaka unda tabare beba tabare ishwalo kuishwa tinchito yala pa kuisa abuka tinchito naibu.
Va Jacqueline Chishimba, Mwapolen.
Mkwaiba Munshya.
Atina lero tuwaleta. Discussion itari. Tulepo kuchinja discussion bwangu so ati tupoke kwa mano. Tuibe kwa mano. Alen posenipo.
Mkwai. I think pakutampa. Mukubala ngafia tulanda chungulopo mkwai shinga bashibuka shani uko ngabaikala shani fwebo kuno tulifye bwino ngale peka ili ashiri mwaleta likankala. The issues in the Ministry of Health, number one, I feel, and from information that has been gathered, has to be handled very delicately because we're actually dealing with people's lives. Okay, so whether there's medication in the hospital or not, the cardinal point or focus is that lives have to be saved. Number one, if people die because we are being careless, we are not only being seen to be an irresponsible nation, or government, or president, or minister, or officials at the Ministry of Health. We are just clearly being seen as a nation that does not care for the human rights that people deserve life. Because bamwaba abalefwa mkasanga limini na mayo alipa bukuru bafwa pamono mwana they were watching to save, and you're losing human resource, human capital, which is really needed for this country right now. So I think once we just need to think through carefully issue of health and try and bring out, I think, solutions. If it means even if Bakwetu can get access, even a minister kulanda nabo, and not to kulanda nabo kulanda ti. Oh, if you're from the fide bombe, but ukupela ma solutions patebo. Nang fokulemba ko fenama papers nenkalata fekuliba president. Ukubeba ati if you file chitika nganga twaliyeshere kwefi ngefi ushemwali fichita. Because right now we are all running, and it's not just as here Pabakwetu, but even today in a lot of forums on social media in terms of so in line with WhatsApp, people had said a lot of things. No, Honorable Masewa has to be fired. And for me, I'm just saying to everyone, wait a minute. How many male ministers are not functioning in this country? And how many of us have stood up openly to say, can Minister so-and-so be fired? The city is dirty, extremely dirty. We've never had a city so dirty in years. Has anyone got up to challenge the ministers in charge of the city?
No.
But suddenly,
Challenge. I think that's then challenge so that we.
The issue is now, just I feel more past. Now, my feminista kantunga kalubana mu ministry, especially when never start. Nishbonsa kui mana bana mayo bonsa kui mina kumono ale. And get me right. I'm not here to say that I'm here to just support Honorable Masebo. No. All I'm just saying is we need to bring solutions to the table.
Okay.
We need to point out to the minister, Shengefi mwali chitire, Shengefi, Tuabe pisha, no kubalembra toem, Gabaisa firok fiasuka. If you're for turebe pisha, Tuaish vanokuishwa toki, kansha papali problem. Because sometimes we could all be speaking. Neina communication tukoete, ishi straight sana. Masanga kulifire chitika, efo fimota finandi wepo. But you are right when you raise the Rama points yakwebati. Abantunga tabali bomba. At whatever level in the ministry, umuntunga talechita perform. I think we're at a point in this country where we should not treat them with kids' gloves. There, okay. I agree. Thank you.
So, do we move on from this discussion because in Shtayapwa, we want to move on to the last discussion?
Yes, please.
Quiet.
Okay. Minister of Health Yakaba. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is the helicopter thing and the lack of clarity among citizens regarding be it the Anti-Money Laundering Act or the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act and the surrounding history around it, because it's widely misunderstood.
But so, can I be thrown in the background? Can I be thrown in the background? I think we are almost to midnight here. Can I be thrown in the background, please?
Okay. So the Loyakawa, it's almost midnight. The issue with corruption, and we need to get this slightly right, because if we don't, there'll be a lot of misunderstandings. The proceeds of Crime Act is aimed at dealing with financial crimes, mostly because financial crimes are complicated. Because financial crimes are complicated, they require specific tools that are going to be used to stop it. People who steal from the government, they are very sophisticated people. They are not like umuntu waisa mkukuibire chibata. Because umuntu ngakuibire chibata. Kutu watch mwana, first of all, ichibata is physical. Kutu watch mwana chibata ticho chibata chandi. Secondly, kutu wamusanganisha le kuibire chibata. Wamwikata, wamtwala wakapokola, na wakapokola, bashiningshoko bachachina. And then even when you are testifying in court, kutu unokusonta wachisonte chibata tichi, waibire nyuyu. Very easy to convict. Financial crimes are difficult. Let me just give you an example. As far as financial crimes are concerned, kutuwapanga several layers. So, number, before the money comes back to you, you send it to A, B, C, D, E, F, G until Z, and then it comes back to you. It's very difficult for law enforcement to look through all these things in order to find that the money actually got back to you. That's the complication with financial crimes. The other thing is you can send the money outside the country. So you send it to your friend in Turkey, and then your friend in Turkey wires it back as if it's an investment into your company. That's the complication with financial crimes. The other thing with financial crimes is you have a business. Wire Congo Lempia from the bank. When you borrow money from the bank, instead of you paying back, you ask somebody else. You steal money, and then somebody else pays on your behalf to a bank. What has happened there is that you have hidden the actual source of the money. It's a stolen money, but you did not directly show it. Instead, you use somebody else to pay the bank on your behalf, and then you received a benefit. Your loan was cleared. All these things are complicated. They are known as financial crimes and money laundering, meaning you steal the money and then you hide. Wayamukushiwasha endalama. Wala shiwasha shani. Ukubomfia fikulwa, ukubomfia banobe, and ukubomfia. The most famous one is business. That is the complication with financial crimes. That's why we have two important pieces, in fact, three important pieces of legislation. The Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Bill Act. We have the Anti-Money Laundering Act. We have the Anti-Corruption Commission Acts. All these acts are there in order to stop illicit financial outflows and to stop corruption. That's why they exist. Nearly the way governments steal from the citizens is using that procedure. It is complicated. In order for you to find those thieves, you need specific tools. That's why we have these pieces of legislation. And so, in misunderstanding, the government has no evidence. It's not correct. The government may have evidence, but evidence in electronic transactions is very complicated and very difficult. That's why the two of this legislation says, ngamwachita reasonably suspect ukobati umuntu nakwate chuma, that they can't explain. You have the tools under the law to confiscate that and forfeit it to the state. That is what is happening here. Tabale lando kwa Shi Mpundu Helicopter was not running a business. Of course he was running a business. Nomba ngamwasenda business vale running. Nechu mecho balandiro kwa bali panga. Tafile umfuana yo. That's why the police and DEC and SEC have come in to say this money is reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime. Now, that is not, the law does not say that the money must be a proceed of crime. No, it is reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime. The reason is, in order for you to catch a person, I gave you the example of Hichilema. It's very straightforward. But as far as these financial crimes, it's not straightforward. Actually, it's very tough to do that. That's why you go to reasonably suspect. Assets, business there is more money. In that regard, then, there is reasonable suspicion is a proceed of crime. That is what the law is in Zambia. Now, that is not to mean a person is not innocent until proven guilty. Quite all right. The standard in criminal cases is innocent until proven guilty. No, but as far as financial crimes are concerned, the Zambian legislature deliberately, in the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act, reversed that burden a little bit and said, instead of saying that umuntu ali innocent until proven guilty, imwe as investigators ngamwasango kobati umuntu nakwate chuma that they can't explain. Na imwe bene it's chuma chakwati chiti unreasonable. Na common sense that you sange reason why umuntu afira kwatire chichuma. Common sense sees it. That's it. Evidence tika. So number these criminals, they know kwebati they want to lean towards the criminal standard of beyond a reasonable doubt. And so that is what they are pushing. But they are lying because they know that if we just use the beyond a reasonable doubt standard, we may never find Chibata. Tuchisange Chibata iyo. Bantu Chibata bali chifisa fisa. Bali womkelabai. Yeah, so that's what they are insisting on, beyond a reasonable doubt and the strict criminal standard. That's not how you fight financial crimes. Financial crimes are a little loose so that you can actually catch the thieves, and because they are very good at hiding, you go to what you can see, and what you can see is the money that they are claiming they have. Yeah. If you are claiming that you have all this money and you got it correctly, just go and explain that you got it rightly. Muntu was running a hotel of 10 rooms or 20 rooms or 30 rooms. Elwasa miebo kovat in a year, alisa panga $1 million. Common sense. Apanga $1 million, which means momwene nalipilamo ama-rates nalipilamo na tax naforeshamo n'abanchito elwesha ashala pamulo ni $1 million. Common sense tells you that is a lie. So because of common sense elo nomba mwaya mwikatoko bati ye 1 million tu apokolola alitulondolwere bwino charishani efire chitika nangu muntu atari kweta ma bus 10 elo nomba within a year asa shitama bus 100 or 1 million buses. Again, you go to common sense. When they say reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime, what they are saying is that ukubomfiafye amano yachifiali lwa yeka tafire panga sensitive nangu mwabula calculator elo nomba mwapanga mwaingishamu basic math before you even engage ama forensic accountants. 1 plus 1 is equals 2. Nomba ngawachita 1 plus 1 elo yasa kupela 1 million. That is reasonable suspicion to be a proceed of crime. That is what the law says. Nomba tekulanda tiyo nomba kuya kuliva teacher mwayamu loresha teacher yako salary yako a teacher elo nomba ati muye muika tebonsa ma teachers aba kulenganda. That is not what this is all about. Kula boko bati limbi umuntu kutakwata even twice or thrice their earnings or even 10 times. What is happening with these thieves? It's not 10 times. Bale ibiro obufontini. Awako bati umuntu akweteka hoteo kuvyo kukitwe but wayashita ma helicopter we mwaume wafnyapi. That is what is happening here. I hope that this helps explain a little bit about what was happening. Dr. Barbara.
You've explained it nicely, Munshya. I'll just try to, comment relating to my people of Kopala. In the Copper Belt, a lot of people like saying, "Oh, I'm a business. See, grade 2 shop, shana." What people don't understand is that dirty money, in fraud or dirty money, what Pablo Escobar nisha kwete ndalama. Pia shama diwi shakuiva bashvika lomba mli layering. Baisa mpela koine Barbara iswa ka saloon muli ka saloon kandi mwafya abantu 6 but dencha na Mercedes Benz na alikwata na ma helicopter but mu hairdresser yandi mwaba mwisa abantu 4 every day. That little money that comes through my hairdresser is now integrated back into the system. Nachita navika mu bank shani. Number at the end of the day, pushabaisa sangato, the person who opened the hairdresser for me acquitted 3 billion. Utuma business tonsi otutua vika kwa malebo, Barbara and House, Barbara and Shani, Mark Jones and Celebrity Shani, tuma building all over Kitwe. Mwingira abantu 7, but umuntu aisa akwata ma billion nashite deke nashita ma hotel muntu buy. That is when it's not adding up.
Yeah.
For us, for washa kwate ndalama, to asa mnafya Barbara bale pishat bali kwate mpenish Barbara nishtali fina mu grade 1 Barbara bali kwete saloon to ala mkurukisha mwemi shishi mkuchitama whatever, because you don't understand that hairdresser was not making enough money for Barbara to buy a hotel in Dubai. Yeah. Just trying to explain for my fellow Kopala people.
Bachelovia.
I think financial crimes, they are like a web. It's not easy, even sophisticated countries like the UK.
Yeah, even Canada.
With Canada, with the UK is maybe amongst the top 3 countries in the world in terms of intelligence and enforcement agencies, MI5, but financial crime is so sophisticated because mostly it's done as a cartel, drug cartel. It's so sophisticated that it's not easy to convict somebody in a criminal court. So the UK Munshya came up with a law similar to the asset forfeiture. It's called lifestyle audit. So all they did is an example how they started it. the first culprit when the law was just passed was a British person nchilefo kumulondola tubanje bati ndi wakapatulula mwali benshi babamusha bakwata tuma shops kuma UK kola bafuma ku mafyalo kulya kumbi kulya ali mu drugs katewe hivi sana bali bali mwishiwe bale muchita monitor so ali kwata tuma shops tuma corner shops so ale bomfya those shops to launder the money into the system nokulabika sana ndama mu banki gash chana ngwat 1000 kwacha abika 10,000 and then and then the next thing Munshya started buying properties and everything, and then before the government knew it, this guy had hundreds and hundreds of properties. He was a billionaire. Then the government says, wait a minute, how did you make all this money? So the starting point, Munshya, this is why I've been advocating the tax system. Every Zambian needs to be on the computer of that revenue authority.
Right.
So that's where they start. How much tax have you paid? Because Munshya, for you to go and buy an helicopter of 1 million, which means you've made a profit of more than 1 million.
Right.
So they ask only two things. That's why every year, whoever does business in the UK, whether it's self-employed or employed, you need to have your self-assessment ku revenue authority. Two things. They'll look at the tax you've paid na profit wapanga. So Munshya wapangile profit ka business kobe 20,000. Washta Rolls Royce 300,000. Wafunisha kwisa ndalama. Tawa kongwele wa ile pila cash. So so that's when the life audit comes in and say, now to audit life your way. There's no way you could have earned a tax closer to that.
Now, I want us to contextualize it in Zambia so that Dr. Barbara, I'm a Zambians very because
yes, Munshya. Takwata hotel kukitwe, but nganamu mwana details ya fumine. Nina libere ngama details. Abo mveshaida hotel to run den dalama shakwiba.
Yeah.
So what he did is he bought a hotel pankongole. And then somewhere Shi Mpundu balishtisha there was something that was bought that we should very ashwamush somewhere abroad. Bali chekelako. So shile dalama baba chekweleko. Esho ba shile mula nomboku yali pila loan. Bachita seto hotel. So kuliwa Shi Mpundu ndama bakwete sharef mako hotel, but how did he pay the hotel? The loan ya hotel. So for bachitile ronda indalama. Yes, he could have gone and buy the helicopter because alichita clear in Congolea hotel, which was the biggest expense in that business.
Right. And so that is what is happening. So it is us, Mwema Zambians, please. Ni mwamu abafumishepo bakabola alaba. But they are back. They are telling you the law enforcement is not fair. No. It is you as the people of Zambia. You are the ones who removed the thieves. Let us encourage the law enforcement to go after these thieves. We did our job. We removed them from office. Let DEC, let SEC, let police do its job. That is what we need to do at the moment. Mukelabai, you agree, Ain?
I totally agree with you, Munshya. This is a very, very good subject. And this is what I would say to my fellow Zambians, to say anything that you see and does not add up or doesn't make any sense, it's questionable. Just know something is wrong. And that already creates
it's not complicated, it's just common sense.
It's just that's what I'm trying to say here. Say anything that even Olomuntu explain something, and through the explanation you are failing to understand the explanation. Just know that it's either the story it's a baloney, it's a lie, or there's something wrong. So our guys are, whatever they try to explain how they amass their wealth, from the helicopter to the mansions, and you know the caliber of these guys, how they are. We know who they are. We know what they wear. Bambi balesanga Mukatondo Street, bali aba money changelula. They used to change ama money. Mukatondo 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Bambi balenwa lutuku. Kuchawa makulia. Balenshwa muma wheelbar. Then suddenly somebody comes and purport that, no, I have a business, nalikwataka lodge, or I have a nare business, nare shengombe, nare shama shanjan. Then suddenly somebody becomes, even when the time, you remember that time there was economical hardship, that most of the genuine businessmen, they have been complaining in Zambia. We know my business to Zambia. They were complaining of economical hardship, that it has hit them. Employees were declared redundant, including the government. They were busy terminating contracts. And then somebody comes and claims that I was making colossal sum of money, I was making profit. And then they go and even buy helicopters. To us, the Zambian, to any person, a well-meaning person, that is baloney. That is a lie. All so right. The Anti-Corruption Commission, they are actually on the right track. They are very, very right to actually forfeiture, and it's up to them, like you put it, it's up to the person whose property has been seized to come and prove otherwise.
Yes. Vakalinda, Shachinda, good evening.
Good evening, Bad Dog. Good evening, panelists, ladies and gentlemen.
Aleni, we've discussed two main things today. The president was working from Ministry of Health, and then we also talked about forfeiture of proceeds of crimes.
Very, very, very good topics. I love the fact that the president finally showed up at the Ministry of Health to figure out what's going on there. So that was splendid, and I can only hope that a lot of us, they're calling us the UPND HH praise singers. We need to be highlighting such good deeds for people. Now, as far as the Mr. Bonanza Malanji, the honors it's on him to prove. I mean, let's face it, people. How much does a cabinet minister get paid annually in Zambia? I mean, I don't see them getting 100,000 kwacha at the most. So where did he get $1 million to buy a helicopter? I mean, the numbers doesn't add up. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, he can go to court. The onus is on him to prove. But I say more. We need more arrests.
On the onus, I just want not to have people misled here. On the onus, it's a little bit more nuanced legally. We'll go through a lot of legal things, but the onus is not entirely on him. There is something that the state must do, but the burden is slightly reduced. Yeah. I just wanted to make that clear so that mislead.
How far
but
can
yes,
they?
He has the responsibility to explain. Alen Bakalinda.
Oh, so anyway, I want to see more arrests. I want to see more recoveries. I saw is it DEC the other day? They announced like 400 houses. Come on, people. I mean, where is your soul? How can you rob Zambians and build these 400, mega mansions throughout the country or throughout the world?
Vale side chicks.
I mean, you can have side chicks 1, 2, 3, but please, at least give them 10 houses or 2 houses, but 400 houses at the expense of, no drugs in hospitals, people not getting paid. I mean, let's remind the civil servants. It's only yesterday when they used to get paid on day 45. Now they're getting paid on time. So these are things that we need to bring out.
And one of the reasons, Kalinda Shachinda, why we here on TVBAKWETU, we insist that the PF be held accountable. It's because we want to hold the UPND accountable as well. Because if we excuse theft under the PF, guess what? The UPND, it will be open season for them. They also steal. Excuse.
Absolutely.
To be very clear, Kalinda, I always say this, let me say it. If the UPND guys were to steal, because there will be no there'll be no public display. There'll be nothing. They'll be wearing the same shoes, they'll be wearing the same suits, and so you won't even know. That's why we are very insistent to go that we hold our PF accountable. Because by UPND, if to reach the hold the PF accountable, they're going to know.
Yeah, while we're doing that, I would like to see the UPND cabinet ministers and everybody else do their own lifestyle, audit. Let's balance it up. Let's balance it up. That's all I have to say for right now.
Thank you very much. This has been a presentation of TVBAKWETU. Elias Munshya here alongside our friend Jerome, who apparently said it's close to midnight. So Jerome Bach Jimba at Waira. Imagine. Jerome, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you a lot. And Dr. Barbara Chanda and Mukelabai and Mr. Patrick Chilufi and Miss Kalinda Shachinda and Miss Chris Bachishimba, Jacqueline Chishimba. Jacqueline namipereshi nati Christine. Munjededeko. Jacqueline Chishimba. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. God bless you and God bless our country, and see you again soon.